From the TV30 studio, here's Jim Schneider.
Well, hi, thank you for joining us on inFocus tonight here on TV30 as we deal with public affairs issues and keep you informed on critical matters. We are your Christian information television station here in Southeast Wisconsin, and welcome also to those of you who are watching us by way of vcy.tv. Anywhere across the country, certainly glad to have you with us here tonight on the inFocus program and the other streaming platforms as well. But tonight we have a very important topic, and especially in light of the news that broke just hours ago today. And the news was this, and in my opinion, this is very tragic news. Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin is resuming abortions in our state. This means little babies in the womb will be torn apart, they will be crushed, they will be suctioned, all on the altar of choice and convenience. Tonight on inFocus, you're going to be hearing of a ministry that is there to really kind of provoke us, to give us a little jab and to bring to our attention the plight of the preborn child, and also to be a public witness outside abortion facilities. With us tonight, we'd first of all like to welcome A.B. Herron. A.B. is a co-founder of Tarry One Hour, a full-time recruiter with Tarry One Hour, and was an assistant pastor for 3.5 years. And God placed on his heart to try and encourage churches to get engaged in activity outside abortion sites. And A.B., good to have you with us here on inFocus.
Good to be here, Jim.
Also with us today is Ann Franczek. She has been standing for life and against abortion for over 30 years. She is primarily focused on sidewalk counseling outside abortion clinics and talking to abortion-bound women and dads as well. Yes. Ann, good to have you here tonight.
Thank you so much.
These individuals both train and at various workshops and give volunteers the tools and equipping them to get engaged in advocacy for life outside these abortion centers. We'll tell you more about that training program as well. But I'd like to hear from you first of all. A.B., we'll start with you, and then Ann, as to your reaction when you heard this news today that Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin is going to start the killing machine all over again.
Well, like I said, when they paused it, I told them it won't be long. That's all they know to do is kill their offsprings and other people's offsprings. They're hopeless. That's what they do. But they are back now, and we had the 2 abortion sites here. The numbers had almost doubled. She'll give you the numbers. When they did shut it down, and people was bringing their family members here to destroy them at these 2 abortion clinics. So it's knowing what they stand for, it was no surprise. It's just a matter of time. But I am shocked that they can still receive our federal dollars to murder people's families. That's what I have a problem with. We haven't spend no time in investigating it and what we can do as organizations to try to push back on them and trying to shut them down permanently where they won't receive any federal dollars. We shouldn't have to pay for somebody murdering their offspring.
Yeah, and this goes back to the one big beautiful bill that President Trump and the House and Senate passed that would withhold federal funding toward clinics, abortion centers that wanted the family planning dollars, but also performed abortions. And so evidently there was just some verbiage that came out from the Justice Department as to how people could be exempted from this, and Planned Parenthood all of a sudden said, okay, we can be sure we're not an essential business any longer. Many people would agree that they never were essential, but nonetheless they're going to stop taking those dollars now. Or they're going to stop being that essential classification so that they can receive the dollars. We'll give you some more information on that in just a bit, but Ann, your reaction when you heard that news today?
It's very dismaying because we have enough trouble trying to man 2 abortion clinics with volunteers to reach out to the women and the men with love and kindness and the gospel of Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. Now we're going back to trying to cover 3. Yep. The numbers we did see go up at the other 2 abortion clinics affiliated and Care for All. The numbers went up dramatically during this time. Okay,
so when October 1 came and they stopped at Planned Parenthood here in Milwaukee and stopped also in Madison, Wisconsin, you said you're at the other 2 clinics that still did it. numbers
way up. Like
went up.
affiliated was going from 60 a week to 100 a week. And then the Care for All is a new one, so it's kind of hard to tell, their numbers. But the numbers have gone up a lot.
What does that do to you when you say those words, care for all?
We call it Care for None because we just can't call it Care for All. The reason they gave it that name is because they will provide abortions for anyone regardless of their ability to pay. So they're fundraising. They're doing like GoFundMe and raising money for people's abortions.
Right. I'd like to read to you from the Planned Parenthood news release from today with this and get your reaction. First of all, it says Planned Parenthood Wisconsin announced that abortion care will be available once again at our health centers. A.B., what do you think when they call them a health center when they're taking human life?
Execution centers. They execute people's families there. That's what it is, and it needs to be called that. That is a human being. That's an American citizen being destroyed in their mother's womb. And people are embracing these phrases, these lies. That's a lie. It's no help. It's no help to the baby. And a lot of mothers suffer, and some of them even die trying to kill their offsprings at these facilities.
Yeah. Let me read another paragraph, and Ann, I'm going to have you respond to this. It says, providing compassionate, high-quality care to our patients has always been our mission, and it always will be, said Tanya Atkinson, President and CEO of Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin. At a time when politicians are working to take away health care from women and families, we are fighting back with everything we have. We've been here before. We've stood up to relentless attacks on reproductive health for decades, and we're not backing down now. Our patients deserve nothing less.
Well, a pregnancy is not a disease, and so it's not health care to kill someone's baby. Health care is obstetric care, that's health care, and they're not compassionate. They're really in it for their agenda and for the money.
Yeah, and then further it says, consistent with the text of the law and the government's interpretation, Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin relinquished essential community provider designation with the Health and Human Services. Accordingly, Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin does not meet the definition of a prohibited entity under the federal law and therefore is not barred from receiving Medicaid funds. That's their position, their statement.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. But God is on our side, and in the end, He will have His victory. It's just something more that we have to try to look into, call our legislators, especially the federal government, and see what we can do to stop them receiving our federal dollars to murder their families and other people's family members at these places. And so, for right now, we have to accept this because it's just started out, but we are not going to just sit back and not say nothing. We're not going to turn a blind eye, a deaf ear to that.
I think it also shows that when you leave it up to the government to end abortion, you don't get too far. The church needs to rise up and take action.
Wisconsin Family Action, who will be with us next Monday on inFocus, sent out a press release shortly on the heels of this, and they said this maneuver reveals what Planned Parenthood Wisconsin values most, the ability to perform abortions. The month-long pause was never about serving women. It was about strategizing how to maintain its abortion business while keeping taxpayer dollars flowing. The majority of Americans oppose using tax money to subsidize abortions. WFA President Daniel Degner said, true compassion never kills. It comes alongside mothers, fathers, and children with truth and tangible care. This decision to resume abortions reveals that Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin is more concerned with killing preborn children than helping the women they claim to care about.
Very true.
Yeah. So again, Planned Parenthood announced today in Wisconsin they are resuming abortions in our state once again. Let me ask you both this question. Why are you so passionate about this issue? And you've been doing this for over 30 years. What keeps you in the fight?
We look back at Nazi Germany and we say, why didn't people help rescue the Jews? We honor people like Corrie ten Boom, and yet here we are killing people in our nation, killing our own children. And so we have to rise up. We think of Esther, who she said, her uncle said, you're here for such a time as this. We must stand up for these babies. We think about school shootings. People get mad, somebody shot up a whole schoolroom full of children, and we're killing a classroom full of children a day, probably in Milwaukee.
Yeah. Brother, why are you so passionate on this issue?
You know, first of all, Jim, let me say this. The God that we worship, he wished that no man perish. It's cruel for me to sit back, not do nothing, not go out there trying to turn them to Christ and sit there and let them destroy their lives and the lives of their children. We got to die. Judgment is upon all of us. These are souls that's being lost to the evil one. This is a spiritual warfare. And for me to sit back and not say nothing and do nothing when I have an opportunity to get out there and try to turn one, if I could turn one person away out a whole year, I done God's will. If just sitting back and complaining, and there's nothing wrong with praying, we need prayer, but we also, God needs some boots and some hands and some mouths out there trying to turn these lost souls to Jesus. Yeah. And I just my personally feeling is that this is what God called us to do, is to occupy till he return. And this is what we are trying to do, is stand in the gap between the babies and death at these clinics. And we can't always do, I mean, prayer, don't get me wrong, prayer is wonderful, but we need to put our bodies along with that outside there to let them know that God is willing to stand out there in the public square, ministering to them, pleading with them, before they make those decisions to turn to him. It's all about Jesus.
Yeah, so
it's all about his compassion.
Your Christian faith compels you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just all about compassion. For me to sit there and not try to do nothing, I don't have to go to China, I don't have to go to North Korea. It's a mission, it's a local mission, work that I can do right here in my own neighborhood. And so this is what drives us to do what we do.
Yeah. Care for All, you mentioned that it's a new center on 35th Street now. They just recently, and this is from lifenews.com, and to me this is really atrocious. Donors to abortion business can name the new baby killing machine. And they evidently announced on Instagram that they had donated funds for a brand new aspirator, and that individuals for a $10 donation could submit a name for this machine that's it's designed to take the life of the preborn child. And I thought, how horrendous is this? You want to give a name to this machine that is denying little children receiving a name.
Right. It's really the whole picture of normalizing abortion, desensitizing people to abortion. If you can enter a contest to name an abortion machine, then it's not a bad thing to use abortion. It's just desensitizing people.
And as I'm looking from the news release here, here's what they say. And this is lifenews.com reporting on this. And near the bottom of the page, it says this machine sucks off the arms and legs of developing children before ending their lives. It says you can put lipstick on a pig and it's still a pig. You can give your clinic's new suction aspirator a cute name and it's still a weapon designed to end the lives of vulnerable children.
True. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the depravity of man when he don't have God. A man has an evil heart. We are evil. Adam gave us that. We born with that. And until a man get reborn again and he has a new heart and a new mind by God, that shows us how evil and how wicked we are.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say that it's many, as much knowledge as we have in regards to the gospel, that it's not a great outcry from God's peoples about how they murdering these children inside their mother's womb. No nation can survive without its offsprings.
Yeah.
We're self-destructing, and nobody's, just a very few peoples, is up in an uprising.
You know, Scripture tells us, it says in Proverbs, these 6 things does the Lord hate, ye 7 are abomination unto him. It talks about a proud look and a lying tongue. But one of the items mentioned is hands that shed innocent blood.
Right.
And that's what happens in abortion.
That's what happens.
We got it.
Yeah. Here's one other story here, and then we're going to look at some other things happening by way of abortion. This came from thenewamerican.com, and earlier in October, And the headline caught my attention: Green Bay, Wisconsin Sustainability Commission to draft Rights of Nature resolution. And this is a city council in Green Bay voted to require the City Sustainability Commission to draft a non-binding Rights of Nature resolution, which would assert that nature has legal rights of equivalence to those of human beings. We're talking about trees, we're talking about waterways, nature having the same rights as a human being.
Insane.
Well, when you don't have the church converting a pagan nation, you can expect these things to happen.
Yeah.
Whose responsibility is it to disciple this nation? The gospel. Who has the gospel? God's people have it. But if we are not out there, first of all, obeying the gospel ourselves, how can we go out there? These people are lost. These people they're headed for destruction. They got to die. They got to come before judgment. And somebody has to, it has to be somebody's responsibility to go out there and try to turn them to Christ. And so it's just getting worse and worse because we are being occupied with so many other things, and this is vital. These are human beings that's being destroyed, and it should be a very high priority to the church.
Yeah. There is a poison pill that is out there. Many people just refer to as the abortion pill. How does that work, Ann?
Oh my goodness. So the woman goes to the abortion clinic and they give her a pill that she takes there, and it starts to starve the baby. And then she goes home and takes a second pill like 24 hours or more later, and that causes her to bleed and expel her dead baby in the toilet. I was just talking to a nurse today who was involved with abortion pill reversal, and they're finding even that a lot of these women are getting the pills by mail order. Even though it's legal in Wisconsin and Illinois to get your pills through the clinic, they're getting them by mail order. They don't have to prove that they're pregnant. Some of these women are not even pregnant when they're taking the pill. They're passing these dead babies in the toilet, and there's stories on social media of what these women are going through. Even one woman holding her baby in her hand where the heart was still beating and watching that heartbeat stop.
Right. You know, not only are we talking about the life of the baby, but there have been so many women that have been injured by taking these abortion pills too.
They say 11% of them are going to the emergency room. FDA said 0.5%, but when someone did a study with using insurance records, and they found that it's 11%. The other thing I wanted to mention was this nurse that I spoke to, she said that when these women are coming for the help with abortion pill reversal, the baby's still alive, which is good. But that means then if these women are taking the second pill, they may be passing their baby while it's still alive.
Yeah, my. And again, you mentioned that many of them are passing their baby right into the toilet, which is being flushed and going into our sewer system, into our water system, not only here in Milwaukee, but across the country as well. And we think about the chemicals that are in the abortion pills themselves, and then also the aborted baby, tiny little infants that are going right down the sewer system.
It's pretty gross. It's pretty gross, Jim. It's sickening.
Yeah, I know Liberty Council Action has...
Yeah, they had a statistic about how much, like 30 to 40 tons of medical waste going down.
If you flush a kitten, a dog, or they tell you not to flush nothing but toilet paper down there. But we are flushing small, little human beings. We're just a pagan nation.
Going into our water supply.
Everybody, yeah, that's the thing. People can think, well, you know, I'm not having an abortion and it's happening over at that clinic, but it's affecting all of us because it's going down our sewer system. We don't know how well the purification system can get rid of the chemicals. Hopefully the babies are screened out, but the what do they call those inhibitors, where it may be affecting women's fertility, other women who are drinking tap water, and the fish and the wildlife, it's affecting them.
My. This is, the abortion pill has been a very convenient tool for sex trafficking, hasn't it?
Yeah, because then like the what do you call that? The man that has the, what do you call that person?
The John?
Yeah, he can, or the...
Sometimes we use the word pimp or something like that.
The pimp can, you know, give these women the abortion pill, and there's been stories of man, like one man gave it to his girlfriend, another man gave it to his wife, and killed the babies.
Right. Putting in the food supply, put it in their drink, grinding it up, and doing that, and horrendous things have happened as a result of the abortion pill. Again, it's horrendous to lose the infant,
right.
And then to see, as you mentioned, a significant percentage of women themselves are being injured by it, and then unbeknownst to a number of women, this is happening to them by perhaps a boyfriend or even a husband that does not want her to go through to term with a baby. Yeah. So we know that the abortion pill is something that is making just huge inroads across this country. And now a generic abortion pill has come out, and wondering how did the FDA ever give approval to this on, I think it was September 30th, the day before the government shutdown took place, and many questions are being asked in regard to this, but it is troubling to see this matter.
Well, it's pretty critical. We have some numbers. I just want to read off some numbers, daily total. We had a National Day of Prayer, and we hand out these little statistics to the audience.
Yeah. And
the daily total for American offsprings, abortion, this happens each and every day. The numbers are probably high because some execution centers don't report how many kids they murdering. But each day, according to these numbers, abortion is 2,800 human beings are being destroyed by abortion only.
Let me stop you right there, because that is right near the number of those that were killed on 9/11 in the Trade Center. And so this is like having a 9/11 every day.
Every day. We cut it in a classroom for the kids and more every day. Chemical abortion, 1,760. Surgical abortion, 1,000. I'm just breaking the numbers down. 1,040. Birth control, anywhere from 17,000 to 31,000. IVFs, 4,100. That's just an estimate. These numbers are probably higher, but this is all we can get right now. We are genociding ourselves.
Yeah.
We're destroying ourselves. That's what we're doing. And only the gospel can stop this.
Yeah.
Ain't no politician going to stop this. And people need to repent. We need to get out there and let God be good, godly peoples, to try to turn these peoples to Christ before he destroys us all.
Yeah. And you brought with you some fetal models. Tell us about them.
Okay, well, the littlest one is 12 weeks from conception, 16 weeks, 22 weeks, and 26 weeks. And in Wisconsin, it's legal to do abortions up to 22 weeks from the last period.
This model right here.
So a little bit smaller than this one.
Model?
Yeah, a little bit smaller than that one. It's legal.
And there's no doubt about it, we're not talking about a blob of tissue here.
Right.
Arms, legs, I mean, we got
cruel.
The heartbeat is going on.
Heartbeat at 3 weeks, brain waves at 6 weeks.
And we have to love them enough to try to tell them this is not the way to live. We live in a time where Americans feel that the way to live is to destroy their offsprings. A woman should have a natural affection for her baby. But something has taken that away from her.
Well, again, let's go back to the scriptures. And Paul told Timothy, in the last days, perilous times will come. Men will be lovers of themselves, covetous, proud, boastful. But one of the characteristics, he said, without natural affection.
And that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
But even in these times, God still wished that no man perish. And we still have to get out there in love and kindness in the gospel and try to reach him. And that's what Tarry 1 Hour ministry is about.
Well, friends, again, the situation is grave in that Planned Parenthood just announced today in Wisconsin that they are resuming abortions once again. So it's only fair for us to understand what abortion is. Now, friends, I'm going to say that if you have young children in the room, you want to have them occupied in something else, because viewer discretion is advised as we show a couple videos, one of which is a medical doctor by the name of Dr. Beverly McMillan, who describes what is a first trimester abortion. Now, this is rampant here in the state of Wisconsin. And there are many who say, well, it's just the first trimester. There's nothing there. But listen to this medical doctor as she describes a first trimester abortion.
My name is Dr. Beverly McMillan. I'm a board-certified obstetrician gynecologist with 45 years of experience, and I've completed around 500 abortions. Today, I'm going to explain a first trimester suction D&C abortion, also called vacuum aspiration abortion. This is typically used up to 14 weeks of pregnancy. When the woman goes to the facility for the abortion, she will lie on a table with her feet in stirrups, and she will be administered local anesthesia. The abortionist will place a speculum like this inside the vagina and open it, allowing the abortionist to see the cervix, the entrance to the uterus. The cervix is grasped with a long metal instrument to stabilize it. A series of metal rods called dilators, like these, which increase in thickness, are inserted into the cervix to dilate it, gaining access to the inside of the uterus where the fetus resides. The abortionist then inserts into the uterus a hollow plastic tube with a hole in it called a cannula and attaches it to suction. If the embryo is small enough, the cannula can be attached to a syringe, and manual suction alone will remove the embryo and placenta from the uterus. Otherwise, the cannula will be attached to a suction machine. The suction machine is turned on and the abortionist slowly rotates the cannula inside the uterus. The fetus is rapidly torn to pieces as it is pulled through the cannula and tubing into a large glass bottle, followed by the placenta. Sometimes smaller embryos are pulled through intact. Occasionally, the abortionist must remove the cannula and pull out body parts that have clogged the opening to complete the abortion. Once the abortionist thinks everything has been removed, she will sometimes use a long metal curette to scrape the lining of the uterus to make sure no parts are left behind. An incomplete abortion can cause infection or bleeding. Once the uterus is empty and the bleeding is under control and all the instruments are removed, the abortion is considered complete. But before the patient leaves, the tissue must be examined to make sure the placenta and all the body parts are accounted for. 2 arms, 2 legs, a spine, a skull. The risks of suction abortion include perforation or laceration of the uterus or cervix, potentially damaging intestine, bladder, and nearby blood vessels. Other risks include hemorrhage, infection, and in rare instances, even death. Future pregnancies are also at a greater risk for loss or premature delivery due to abortion-related trauma and injury to the cervix.
It's very disturbing to watch this.
As a human being.
And this, yes, and this is in, like cartoon illustrative motion, but when we're talking human life, I mean, this is what the Planned Parenthoods of this world are doing in the first trimester.
It's made in America. That's American baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a horror movie, but it's for real.
Right. And again, this is everybody said, well, that's just the first trimester. We don't need to worry much about it because there's not development. But Anna, as you point out, there is development that's taking
the heart
place.
starts beating at 3 weeks.
Which of these models in the first trimester?
This is 12 weeks.
Okay, so 12 week right here. And so here we have that 12-week model, and to go in with those instruments and sucking out of the machine. And this is the same kind of machine that this other Care for All is having people named that's going to tear a child apart.
Yep.
Yes. Pretty bad.
We're going to show one more video, and again, viewer discretion is advised with this as well. Friends, again, we're learning the facts. This is really the truth of abortion, what it is. And there are many just who say it's just a blob of tissue. And friends, we really need to realize this is the taking of innocent human life.
Yes.
This is Dr. Kathy Altman, who is going to describe now a second trimester abortion.
My name is Dr. Kathy Altman. I'm a board-certified obstetrician gynecologist with almost 33 years of experience, and I've completed over 500 abortions. Today I'm going to describe a second trimester surgical abortion called dilation and evacuation, or D&E. A D&E is generally performed between 14 and 22 weeks of pregnancy. Before a D&E abortion can be done, the cervix must be dilated slowly over 1 to 2 days with laminaria or a similar product. Laminaria is a type of seaweed that absorbs water and swells to several times its original diameter. When the woman undergoes the evacuation portion of the procedure, she lies on a table with her legs in stirrups. She may be given injections of local anesthetic in the cervix, IV conscious sedation, or general anesthesia. The abortionist uses a speculum to open the vagina and uses an instrument to stabilize the cervix. Metal dilators may be used to further open the cervix if needed. Once the cervix has been stretched open, a cannula attached to suction tubing is placed inside the uterus. The suction machine is then turned on and the amniotic fluid surrounding the fetus is suctioned out. The fetus is too large to fit through the cannula, so he or she must be removed in pieces with a clamp such as this Sofer clamp. A Sofer clamp is made of stainless steel and is about 13 inches long. At the tip, there are rows of teeth for grasping. The abortionist reaches into the uterus with the clamp and tries to grasp an arm or leg. Once the abortionist has a firm grip, she pulls forcefully in order to remove the limb. Piece by piece, the abortionist removes the arms and legs, followed by the head or the body, including the torso and pelvis, along with the intestines, the heart, and the lungs. The placenta is also removed. If the cervix has been overdilated, the body or even the entire fetus may be pulled out intact. Usually, the most difficult part of the procedure is extracting the fetus's head, which at 20 weeks is about the size of a large plum. The abortionist must open the clamp widely to grasp the head, and then crush it so that it will fit through the cervix. The abortionist knows he has crushed the skull when a white substance, the fetus's brains, leaks out through the cervix. The abortionist then removes the compressed head. Any remaining limbs, organs, bone fragments, or pieces of placenta not removed with the forceps are removed by scraping the uterine lining with a large curette or by reinserting the suction cannula. The abortionist then reassembles the fetal parts to make sure that there is nothing left inside the uterus, which could cause infection or bleeding. Once all the parts have been accounted for, the bleeding has been controlled, and all the instruments have been removed from the vagina, the abortion is considered complete. For the woman, this procedure carries the risk of major complications, including perforation or laceration of the uterus or cervix, with possible damage to bowel, bladder, or other maternal organs. Infection and hemorrhage can also occur, which can lead to death. Future pregnancies are also at an increased risk for loss or premature delivery due to abortion-related physical trauma and injury to the cervix.
And how does this impact you?
It's just barbaric. It's just barbaric. And people think it's a woman's right. It's not healthcare.
Yeah, it's not at all. And now we have the word here, and this is a press release that came out of the state of Colorado, WND.com. Colorado clinic offers late-term abortion for any reason. So this is going in the third trimester as well. And then also we have an article in New Jersey to get all trimester abortion facility in 2026. The desire for blood just does not relent.
It's insatiable. It's demonic. It's truly demonic.
Yeah. How does this differ from the Holocaust, brother?
No different. It's the same God doing the same thing. He's a liar, he's a murderer, he's a thief, and he's the father of it. And this is what he does. And that's what he does. God has his children doing his work, and the devil has his. But like I said, there is no difference. It's just different times. It's nothing new under the sun. What they done yesterday, they do today. It's just done in a different way, a different form. Satan is not going to change. He don't have to. Man is the only thing that can change. God is not going to change. Man is the only one in between God and the devil that needs to change.
Yeah.
And only the gospel can change that man. And so it's cruel. That's all they know to do. It's death. They don't have no kind of reason. Even when they're looking at the truth, they deny it.
Well, what would happen if they would do this to animals?
You go to jail. But right now, Satan has dehumanized human beings. and it has been accepted in the society. Not all of it society. Thank God for the saints that's among us. We're not like Elijah thought that everybody had, there was no prophets.
Right.
God does have his people here. And we do need to stand out and come out, and we do need to come together to try to turn these lost souls to Christ, because they're destroying themselves.
Yeah.
And they're destroying American future.
Yeah. I'd like to contrast what we just saw here in the first and second trimester abortion. We're not going to show the third trimester, but contrast that with the video of an ultrasound, and this time it's of a baby smiling when hearing their father's voice. Let's watch that video.
Nenê do pai. Mas, meu Deus do céu, gente. Ela tá feliz, meu Deus do céu. Bebê. Mas, gente do céu. Nenê do pai. Mas, meu Deus do céu, gente.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's
Coming
amazing.
through the New York Post there, but to see that little smile coming forth in utero and recognizing Dad's voice.
Yes.
Yeah, very precious.
Yes.
So tell us about Tarry One Hour. What are you doing?
We are outside the abortion clinics offering help to the women. We have a brochure we like to give them that it shows some places where they can get help. It shows fetal development. It has pictures of aborted babies. We have scriptures on every panel, because we know that God's word never returns void. Which tells them about the physical risks, about the development of the baby. And so we are trying to offer help to the women and trying to get them to come over and talk to us and tell them that there's help available. The woman on the cover of that brochure, I helped her save her little girl. The girl is now 17 years old.
Amen.
Okay, it's let us share your burden. We will care for you and help you. And again, you have the development taking place here. 3 weeks, a baby has a heartbeat. 6 weeks, brain waves can be measured. Baby responds to touch. At 8 weeks, all organs are present. And this is when many moms are just, around this time finding out, I'm expecting a baby.
Right.
9 weeks, baby can yawn and suck. 10 weeks has unique fingerprints. 12 weeks, all organs are functioning. Baby can smile. Just very, very precious. And one can see the heartbreak of abortion in here too, but certainly the power of actual photos.
Right.
So important.
Right.
Yeah, it's giving them the truth. Now, whether they accept that truth and turn to Christ, that's on them, but we done our part.
So you stand outside abortion centers to give this material?
Right. And I'd like to tell a story. There's a young lady I've been helping, and she, her baby's now 6 months old, but she was at the abortion clinic, and I got to talk to her and give her a ride home and refer her to some different resources for help. And so the baby's born now, 6 months old. She just gave her life to Christ. She just repented of her sins. And she says, I can't believe I almost did that. She kept repeating, I can't believe I almost did that. Just so much heartbreak and repentance for what she didn't do. These women who are aborting their babies, a lot of them are in very hard emotional state afterward. But that's what we do. We talk to the women and offer them help. And there are women who tell us, I wish someone had been there the day I aborted my baby. If only someone had been there, I wouldn't have done it. And that's one of the things that really motivates me to be out there. We're there because of compassion for the baby, for the mother, just knowing what these women go through when they pass their baby in the toilet. I can't imagine what could be a worse nightmare than seeing your dead baby in the toilet and knowing it's too late to go back.
They'll never forget that.
They'll never forget.
And Brother Herron, you are actually out trying to recruit churches to come, and let's talk about those words, Tarry 1 hour. Where does that come from?
Well, it's come from the garden in Gethsemane. Jesus told his disciples, can you tarry with me for 1 hour? That's where we originated the name from, 2014. I think it's 2014. 16, yeah. But all we ask these pastors, individuals, churches, and groups to do is come out for 1 hour. 1 hour. Even if they just pray out there, that's enough to some mother who contemplating murdering her offspring That's enough to turn their hearts to Christ. Because we represent God, and God is full of mercy and grace. But if no one is out there, like she said, these poor women, and I call them poor because they're lost, they don't have a chance. The baby don't have a chance, and they don't have a chance of being saved. That's why we out there.
And some will say, but this is just not the right time for me to have a baby. I need my job, I need my career. What do you respond to? How do you respond to them?
Well, the baby, God has ordained them for a purpose and a plan, and God has a reason for that baby's life. And so maybe it's not the right time in the mother's eyes or the dad's eyes, but God has a purpose that that child is supposed to live. And people, when they are aborting their baby, they're just thinking they're getting rid of some, nameless tissue, but God has a name for those babies. God knows every hair on our heads. He knows what those children are going to be. So they're killing a very important person.
Yeah, indeed. You are holding, matter of fact, you hold training meetings for those who want to be a sidewalk counselor as well?
On the third Monday of every month. It's just an hour and a half. You're going to put that information up? Okay, and so we invite people to come, even if you're just not sure you want to come, but you just want information, please come. We even give you a little meal. It's the orientation, and you only need to come one time to get the training.
Okay, so you see that's the third Monday of every month, 6 to 7:30 p.m. You use the facility at the Wauwatosa Lions Club, 7336 St. James Street. And it's just that come for that training at the Tarry 1 Hour meeting, again, the third Monday of every month. Also, we will be putting up a point of contact a little bit later here for a phone number for more information as well. But I would like to open our phone lines here at inFocus and get your reaction, even to our topic tonight, your reaction to Planned Parenthood starting up the abortion procedures again here in the state of Wisconsin. That announcement coming forth today. How do you respond to that? Are you troubled by this? Are you troubled even by the videos? And these videos, though as graphic as they were, are far from the harm that is actually being done to the babies and to their mothers. Friends, our phone number to inFocus tonight, 414-935-3030. 414-935-3030. Toll free, the number is 800-733-8830. That's 800-733-8830. And you can also text in your question tonight or your brief comment. Our text line is 414-459-9638. That's 414-459-9638. And be sure that you just put in your first name, the city that you're texting from, and we'd like to include your question or comment here for our guest this evening. But is there something that stirs within your heart as you hear about this issue? And friends, even are you disturbed even by the information that this is happening every single day? All across this country it is happening. And now Milwaukee is expanding that even further. And that really ought to be troubling to everyone. We know that you also do preventative work going out to the high schools.
Yes, we have a packet of information that we give out, and it has a sexual purity tract, it has a gospel tract, it has the item that they like the best, the students, is the 12-week baby model with a card that has a development attached on here. And it's interesting because even in our gender-confused society, we give these out, and there's no anatomy really on there, but they'll go, I want a girl or I want a boy, depending on the pink or blue ribbon. And we have a card that talks about God made the world in 6 days, not evolution, millions of years. So we go out to different high school every week, and we see a lot of good response. We've given out 950 packets so far at 5 schools this year. So we're hoping that will cause them to give their life to Jesus Christ, to stay, make a pledge to be sexually pure, and also to protect babies.
Here's a text that came to us from Denise in Franklin. It's asking, is the chemical abortion pill mostly a worldwide assault? And then saying it's maddening that the tiny Israel is always so battled against, even in this. But that abortion pill, is that something that's going around the world?
Absolutely.
Yes, it's the pharmaceutical companies. The pharmaceutical companies is in the business And like I said, we don't even have enough volunteers and the hospitals are involved in it. The church really needs to come out into the public square and minister to these folks while we have the opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we have opportunity, friends. Our phone number here, get your reaction to this very important issue here tonight. A friend, that's going on right in our city of Milwaukee. 414-935-3030 or 1-800-733-8830. We'll also keep the number for texting on our screen as well. You can send in your text with your first name and city you're calling from. We're going next to, let's go to Laura in Cedar Grove. Hi, Laura, you're on the air.
Hi, I think abortion is murder. I know that murder is first-degree murder in the name of selfishness, money, greed, and insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you for your comment. How do you respond to that?
She's right. She's 100% right on.
Insanity. See, they done lost. They strung out. They strung out on birth control pills. They strung out on killing their offsprings for the cares and the desires of this world. And it's heartbreaking. We got everything.
You know, the thing is, too, the Bible shows that children are the most precious commodity, you know? And when the Bible, like Hannah and was it Rachel and Leah were having a contest to see who could have, it wasn't a contest, but they were competing with each other to who could have more children. And throughout the whole Bible, lots of children are a blessing, and yet in our society, 2 is enough. I don't want any more children than that, or I don't want any children.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get to even that aspect here tonight too. Let's go back to the calls, and we've got Noelle calling from Franklin. Hi, Noelle, you're on the air.
Hi, Jim, Ann, and A.B. I was just calling in to say, Christians really need to get involved with going out to the clinics and trying to save babies and spread the gospel. I mean, church potlucks and everything are nice and all, but we're called to go out to the world and minister to others, out to the church, spread the gospel and stand up for these babies, because there's 3 clinics here in Milwaukee, and there's not enough Christians here to cover all the shifts that need to be covered.
Yeah. Thank you, Noelle.
So I know Noelle and her family. Her mom and dad have 11 children, and so her dad is working, but her mom will bring out almost all 11 children unless they have other things to do. If people say, I can't go out to the abortion clinic, they have all kinds of excuses, but she brings all of her children unless the older ones are working.
And you're here tonight saying we need more help.
Yes.
Yeah, it needs to be more saints out there trying to save these lost souls. You know, Jim, we can't do nothing for God in jail and in the graveyard. We have to try to serve God while we have a chance. And like I said, it's a local ministry that a like-minded Christian, evangelical Christian, can join us in this effort. It ain't something to sweep under the table, because this thing that you see is getting worse and worse.
Right.
And the reason why it's getting worse is because of the church. Church has a responsibility to push back on this here. I don't know when God is going to destroy this world. None of us do. But we have a responsibility as children of God. First of all, is to love these folks, to try to show them the way of God. And by ignoring and turning a blind eye, a deaf ear, or agreeing with them, is not helping them.
Occupy till I come.
That's what he called us to do.
Yeah. Let's go back to the lines here. We've got Chris calling from New Berlin. Chris, you're on the air.
Yes, about a month ago, I called for something similar to this, that if they were to take and show a movie of an actual abortion in Congress before the House of Representatives and before the Senate and before President Trump, I think that abortion would stop right away.
Yeah. Thank you for that comment. And there was a video that came out years ago called "The Hard Truth," and a video that I know missionaries to the preborn went door to door in passing out these, but to show the hard truth of abortion. And we see the atrocities that just happened in Israel on October 7th, just a couple of years ago, and so much of this footage was captured, and it turned people's hearts and their stomachs, knowing that these atrocities that went on, and showed Israel was justified in seeking to go after those who are trying to wipe her off the face of the earth. But it's those pictures, the videos that brought that realization. When we see the pictures of the Holocaust, that's why we say never again. Never again should this happen again.
Sadly, people have become desensitized. When Missionaries to the Preborn did that video distribution years ago, it made a big impact, but a lot of people have become desensitized.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I believe we've got Jackie next in West Allis. Hi, Jackie, you're on the air.
Hi, Sister Ann and Sister Brother A.B. I'm calling because women making excuses about murdering their babies that they have a career. I can't hear you.
Yes, hey, we're listening to you. You're concerned about mothers who are murdering their babies because of their career.
Correct. My mother had 14 children. I was born in 1957. She couldn't read or write. All 14 of us are well educated, doing well in society. She never thought to abort one of her children. I don't understand women today that put themselves above, but I do understand that the church is the biggest problem in America today, that men of God no longer preach the gospel, no longer want to, as Brother A.B. say, they do not want to stand on that corner and prove what they preach in that church, that life begins, it's a soul inside of us. That's a living soul that we are murdering. So pastors need to come out, as well as the congregation, and stand with Brother A.B. and Sister Ann and relieve them that they would have a chance to do other work. The church is the one that's the problem. They won't speak up, they won't come out, and that is the reason why America is in the problem that they have now.
Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate your phone call. We'll have our guest respond to this.
You know, it's scary to do this work when you first go out. So the first time that I went out to Sidewalk Council, my knees were literally knocking. I was not afraid of something happening to me, but afraid that I wouldn't say the right thing and the woman would kill her baby. And so I'm thinking, the pressure is high. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. And why, I mean, I used to be the most shy person you could meet when I was young. Why you do things that are hard to do is because the consequences are high, because you know souls are dying and going to hell, because you know babies are being murdered. You push yourself out of the comfort zone to help people, to save people, and it's worth it. I mean, I've held babies in my arms that were saved from abortion. It's what you just have to go out of your comfort zone because you love God and because you love people.
April in Milwaukee is texting and saying, how did Planned Parenthood get their abortionists back? I'm guessing how they have not been doing it for a month. Earlier, when Wisconsin law, they recognized when Roe v. Wade was overturned, there was a pause that happened. Do we know how they got their abortionists back?
Well, you explained it earlier that they changed, that they did a loophole. They changed their
right, but
title.
the people who actually commit the abortions themselves, who do the abortions, were they just sitting idle for some time?
They never went anywhere.
I'm sure they did.
They were just pausing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just paused.
Yeah.
Also, this is, let's get to another call here. We've got, let's see, line 2 is Kathy in Campbellsport. Kathy, you're on the air.
Hello, Jim.
Yes, go ahead.
I really need, yes, I just want to close my door here so when I'm hearing all this, I need to tell you this. I have 2 children and 3 grandchildren in heaven waiting for me because I made a mistake because I believed a lie. Because I didn't know any better at the time. But you see, now I do.
Right.
The thing is that people out there don't know the Lord. They don't know God. They're going to do what they're going to do. And it's not, you can be out at the abortion clinics and you can be out there, but what you need to do is actually reach them for Christ. Until they know Christ in their heart and become born again, they'll know that they can't keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I mean,
Yep, you've raised a great point, and this is really why both of you are very passionate about sharing the gospel.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
we need to reach the lost.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
And it's a good.
And people are out there. You know what they're doing? they're afraid to come out. They don't want to step on toes. I'm in Bible studies where they say, well, we maybe shouldn't say this. We don't want to, get them on the bad side. We want to make sure that we don't frighten them off. Mm-hmm. But you know what? What does God say? Today is the day of salvation.
Yeah.
We cannot let that go one more time. We need to get out there and reach the lost because times are short.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for your call here. Yeah, we're going to have to run because we're almost out of time here. Thank you for the call. But she brings up,
well, let me say this.
Point.
The disciples went up in the upper room. And when the Holy Spirit came upon them, they didn't stay in that upper room praising the Lord. Mm-hmm. They went out.
Yeah, and let me bring this text into that comment too. Yep. This is from Geraldine in Milwaukee. Killing our preborn neighbors is very disturbing, but it's also very disturbing that we're not hearing much about this from our pulpits. The church needs to get out there. It's not a calling, it's a command.
That's true. This is Proverbs 31, 8 and 9. Open thy mouth for the dumb or the speechless, and the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and the needy. We're commanded to go out. And Ezekiel 3, I'm just summarizing, tells where God tells him, warn people. When I say to the wicked, you're doing something wrong, warn them. If you don't warn them, their blood is on you.
Yes.
Friends, we have a couple of points of contact for you tonight. First of all, about the meetings that they hold on the third Monday, and then we'll get to that here. There it is, Tarry 1 Hour meetings, the third Monday of every month, 6 o'clock to 7:30 p.m. Wauwatosa Lions Club is the location. Utilize that facility on St. James Street. And then if you'd like to reach out to our guests here are some points of contact. Their website is tarry1hour.com, tarry1hour.com. On Facebook, Tarry 1 Hour. And you'll see phone number here for A.B. Herron, 262-672-3685. That's 262-672-3685, or to Ann Franczek, 414-921-8126. That's 414-921-8126. And perhaps something's been said here this evening, or you felt burdened, compelled to join and be that public witness outside the clinic. They can contact you and you'll get them more information.
We would be so grateful if they would call us.
Great. The need is great.
Yes, it is. And it's vital. Mm-hmm. We're losing our neighbors. These are American citizens that's been murdered inside their mother's wombs. And the least we can do is go out there and ask them to turn to God rather than destroying their self and families.
Thank you so much for being with us here tonight.
Thank you for having us.
And Ann, thank you for coming and sharing with us. And friends, again, this is happening today. Planned Parenthood announcing they're going to resume this happening right in our city once again, and other locations are too. Again, God hates the hands that shed innocent blood. God bless you, friends. Thanks for joining us tonight on inFocus. Good night.